Well, I mean, the episode was really great. I thought it came out really well. You know, there was a lot of anticipation. I basically waited for a month after the filming was done. You know, biting my nails. You know, hoping that things were going to turn out all right. I mean, I had no doubt that they were going to turn out all right, but I was just, you know, it was definitely there was definitely a lot of uncertainty, you know, and curiosity, and just, you know, thick anticipation. But in the end, I was very happy with the results. So I felt that it was a very important stage in my own personal journey, the show that is, and I felt that you know, putting it out there, putting what I had to say out there was, you know, that was very important to me. And I felt that there was a lot that I wanted to say that wasn't necessarily shown, but I think, you know, I think what needed to be shown was shown. And I feel that, you know, though there was a lot of power to the story that was not necessarily present in the actual episode, the point is that that experience happened, and that I learned from that experience, and other individuals benefited from that experience as well. What did I learn from this experience? I learned a lot from this experience. I learned a lot about myself. I learned a lot about the professional world. I learned a lot about friendships. Just, you know, my entire social life was dramatically altered by this production. A lot of close friends, you know, I severed ties with a lot of close friends, which I'm currently trying to, you know, reconnect. And you know, I made a lot of new friends, and I saw a lot of new life. And you know, it was you know, definitely a bridge between worlds for me, you know, and also in a way a revelation to the future, perhaps a revelation to, you know, where exactly I'm going, you know, and where, or at least where I hope to go. Or maybe perhaps a test. You know, it was definitely a test. It was definitely a personal test, a test of my own will, my own ability to work under pressure and to work under those conditions, and to, you know, it's a personal test to what exactly, you know, what I'm made of, you know, and what exactly I'm doing, you know, and if that's what I need to be doing. You know, I'm glad that I did. In a way, I'm really glad they focused on my spirituality, but in another way, you know, I'm more casual about my spirituality than they portrayed, I think, in some ways. I mean, but in some ways, in other words, you know, I mean, everywhere I go, I'm not necessarily, you know, I'm not necessarily you know, I don't wear it on my sleeve as much as, say, as much as portrayed in the episode, but you know, I do carry it everywhere with me, of course. And it's definitely something that composes my entire lifestyle, so it's not necessarily a bad thing. But on the other hand, you know, I mean, someone who meets me on the street is not necessarily going to be it's not necessarily going to encounter me when I'm thinking about, you know, certain things that pertain to that. And so, you know, the first conversation I have with that person is not necessarily going to be about, you know, my spirituality or relevant to that topic, you know. Wow, reactions from other people? Yeah, I've gotten lots of great reactions. Lots of people have emailed me, have visited my MySpace, have contacted me. You know, everywhere I go, it seems people have something to say. You know, people I don't know. There's definitely a lot of people I do know that are coming out of the woodwork. So like, hey, you know. But no, I've gotten lots of good reactions. I've only gotten a couple of negative reactions. But most everything has been positive. You know, people really like it. People are really entertained. And interestingly enough, you know, my goal is to inspire people. You know, my goal is to move people and help people discover themselves, and help people discover themselves on their journey. And interestingly enough, I did not expect the episode to really resonate on that level with people. But I had a lot of people coming to me, telling me that it did, telling me that they were inspired, you know, in their journey, and inspired to not only pursue some of the things that I mentioned in the episode, but also, you know, in their own pursuits. I had a lot of Buddhists and, you know, fellow spiritualists seek me out as well, you know, which was really cool and really great. And it's been very interesting. I've had a lot of people tell me that they were, you know, very healed, you know. So that's my mission. So that definitely means a lot to me. When I talk about my journey, I'm not talking about my journey. I'm talking about the journey of the individual as part of the collective. I try not, we experience things on an individual level, but the individual level is simply, I believe, a reflection of a wide cosmic collective. So when I'm talking about my journey, I'm talking about the journey we're all on towards our own realization. When I talk about my particular journey, I'm talking about my journey of transformation and realization towards enlightenment, or whatever words you want to put in that little blank there. When I talk about my journey, I'm talking about my journey in bringing what I discover to the world and helping others awaken to these same things, awaken to their inner potential and their inner light, so to speak. And so when I talk about my journey, I'm talking about turning over those rocks and digging deep into the darkness of one's being and asking those questions, finding answers, and perhaps finding that the questions and the answers are in fact the same. The people I worked with took me very seriously. The people I worked with understood me on a spiritual level, and this really helped the production very well. And before I went into it, I was not sure if the individuals I would be working with would understand me and understand what it was I was trying to portray, but they did. I worked with a series of individuals who were not only very intelligent, very creative individuals, but were very understanding and very profound individuals who had great empathy for what I was doing. And so they put a lot of love into me, and into my story, and into the production of this story. And so that meant a lot to me, and I became very close with the production team. Actually, the cameraman, Alejandro Smith, ended up being a very profound mentor for me. Him, a spiritualist himself, he was able to help me to become more grounded and give me a more grounded view of things, as I tend to be very idealistic and, kind of out there, so to speak. But no, it was a very moving experience, and I will never forget the connections I made with the production staff. It was a big family. We were a big family, essentially. And they flew me out to New York to do the voiceovers, and I spent a lot of time, with them, and it was just really great. And we were able to have a very personal relationship as well as a professional relationship, and it meant a lot to me.
What was the trip to LA like?
The trip to LA was very interesting. Unfortunately, I did not get enough. I was only there for about 3 days, so I did not have enough time in LA for it to fully sink in, that I was in LA. I mean, no, I had a great time in LA. I learned a lot just observing the culture there, observing the lifestyle. The only negative thing about my experience there was the smog. I couldn't breathe while I was there. I have a lot of positive things to say about LA, as well as some not so positive things to say about LA. I mean, LA is a very culturally rich place, and I had a lot of preconceived notions before going to LA. And there's definitely a lot of there's definitely a big. It's almost like there's almost like the life there isn't like a struggle for its own identity. I mean, life everywhere isn't a struggle to find its identity, but in LA, it's like. Even though it's almost as if even the plants themselves have lost their identity. It's if you know what I mean. But it's definitely there's definitely a lot of glamour. But in the middle of that glamour, there's also a lot of rich culture and a lot of really talented individuals who are really working and striving for their goals and their dreams. And so it's very interesting because LA is a wellspring for all of these individuals, collected in that single spot. It's definitely an oasis, and there's a mixture of things in LA, negative and positive, and I learned a lot from the experience, and I got a lot from the experience, from the traveling itself, especially. As far as the makeover goes, I mean, I expected a makeover, and frankly, I thought it would be kind of interesting. I mean, I try not to be too attached to my, physical appearance. I mean, I do care, I obviously care. I take care of myself. But, I was like, okay, I'm just going to let them do what they want. So I basically told them to do what they wanted. And they did what they wanted. They gave me a blonde streak, and they gave me sort of a faux hawk thing, which I've sort of preserved. And they gave me some guy liner, some eyeshadow, which I'm not wearing right now, obviously. And they painted my nails, which I'm obviously, my nails are not painted right now. But no, I thought it was interesting. I thought it was kind of funny, I mean, and I don't have any product in my hair, but they had quite a bit of product in my hair. And I just sort of went with it. I mean, I wasn't going to fight it, and I wasn't, there was no stubbornness in me about what they were going to do. So I liked Chelsea's makeover quite a bit. I liked her hair afterwards a lot. I think she had more. I think she had more to work with. Being a female persona and being, just having more hair, she just had a lot more to work with, and so I think she definitely had more of a makeover than I did, but I liked her makeover a lot. What's next? Next, I continue my journey. I continue playing music, working on music. I continue working on writing. I'm just going to continue working on all the things I do. I'm doing some projects. I'm doing a project with the Gotwals Center, and I'm also, I'm doing a project called which is sort of it works with the mystery of love, founded by the Fetzer Institute. And I'm working on this project, the youth campaign for love and forgiveness, with Jeff Miller of the Gotwals Center and Lisa Marie Napoli, and a summary of other individuals, a panel of youths, and we're going to be our campaign is still in the works, and we're going to have some events locally, and we're going to be traveling the country soon with our campaign. And I'm going to continue to work on my music. I'm working with my band still, and I'm going to try to produce some albums. And I'm planning on writing a memoir. I'm going to write a book. So yeah. I can't reveal that yet.
Okay.
But
not about this experience.
Well, I'm just going to say I'm writing a book, and that's all I'm going to say for now. And I've had this idea for a while, but now now the universe is pushing me, and now the creative juices are finally flowing out. So I'm working on a book. I'm just going to say that.